Monday. It is the 19th of December, 2016, and this is Wayne Goldsboro Television. I'm Wayne Alley.
And I'm Pat Garner.
And I'll tell you what, Christmas is this Sunday. We're coming up to the big day this weekend, and I can't believe how quickly it's come, but here it is. All right, and I hope everybody has their shopping done. If you haven't done your shopping, if you're one of those folks who likes to wait till the last minute to do everything, you enjoy the chaos and the craziness of the last minute shopping and the crowds and the hustle and bustle and everything, well, more power to you. I'll tell you what, some people like that though. They like the excitement of getting out with all the people and everything. Okay, anyway, just be careful out there and be sure that you recall what the sheriff told you and advised you to do when you're out shopping, and just to use extra caution when you're in your vehicle in a parking lot. Make sure that before you get out of your vehicle, you just kind of look around and make sure everything is like it's supposed to be. Just be careful. Okay? And if you want your gifts wrapped, you can do that this weekend. In fact, this week, beginning tomorrow, the Mayor's Youth Council returns to Berkeley Mall to wrap your gifts. They'll be there Tuesday the 20th from 4 until 10 p.m. and then Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday at Berkeley Mall from 10 in the morning until 10 in the evening. So you'll have all 3 days. You can get your gifts wrapped for a small donation to the Goldsboro Mayor's Youth Council. That's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Tomorrow from 4 till 10, and then the rest of the week from 10 till 10 up until and through Friday. Now, what do you have, ma'am?
Wayne County government offices will be closed Friday, December the 23rd.
That's this Friday.
Monday, December the 26th.
The week from today.
And Tuesday, December the 27th.
The week from tomorrow.
The Wayne County Solid Waste and Convenience Centers will be closed for the Christmas holidays on Saturday, December the 24th.
Okay.
All branches of the Wayne County Public Library will be closed Saturday, December the 24th, Monday, December the 26th, and Tuesday, December 27th.
You were going backwards there. So we got Saturday, Monday, and Tuesday, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. What calendar do you read? Never mind. You know, it would be great if you could actually turn it backwards.
I know, really.
Wouldn't that be nice?
It would be.
You could bottle that.
Yeah.
So, yes. Well, now let's see what else. Yeah.
'Tis the season to rock ugly sweaters. The Wayne County Senior Center is having an ugly sweater contest, which is December the 21st at noon.
All right.
So come in your ugliest sweater to win a trophy.
It's day after tomorrow, isn't it?
It is.
Wednesday. Okay. Win a sweater?
An ugly.
Oh, a trophy.
A trophy.
Win a trophy. That's coming up Wednesday of this week at noon at the Peggy Seeger Senior Center, 2001 East Ash Street in Goldsboro. Early in December, the county contracted with Custom Tree Care to start picking up construction debris along the sides of the road in Wayne County. Now, the county's been divided into 9 areas, and as Custom Tree Care begins picking up debris, residents in each of the zones, the 9 zones, will be contacted by, what is that?
Code Red.
By Code Red, which is an emergency alert system that will be sent to your phone and let you know when they will be picking up debris in your area. Now, this is only for construction debris, couches, furnishings, that sort of thing. No vegetation, no vegetative waste will be picked up. This is only, trees and limbs and things like that, they will not be picking up. This is only for construction debris, damaged houses that have been damaged, construction stuff, and furnishings and such as that. But you'll be notified by Code Red. And if you have any questions, you can call 919-731-1416, 731-1416. Okay? Okay. Coming up, we've got an interesting program. It's called Boot Camp. Boot Camp is Corporal Marissa Davis of the Goldsboro Police Department held some seminars at the Wayne County Public Library about safety. She held one, we ran one on vehicle safety, and today you're going to hear Corporal Davis talking about residential safety, safety in your home, how to make it safe and keep it safe, and what you have to do to make it that way. All right, that'll be coming up next, and then we'll be back with another segment right here on Wayne Goldsboro Television.
Well, hello. As Heath said, I'm Marissa Davis, and I'm with the Goldsboro Police Department. Just to give you a little bit about myself, I've been with the police department for over 20 years now. I spent some of that time on patrol, and then I was promoted to the crime prevention unit, which is where I just love being in the crime prevention unit, because this unit gives me the opportunity to interact with the community, put on programs like this today, and just have fun with people. And I love people, and it's an opportunity to meet new people and always just improve myself. So I'm here today to talk about residential safety. Put together a short, brief PowerPoint. I hope you enjoy it. I'll be around at the end. If anybody has any questions, we can talk about it and go from there. Okay, y'all ready to start? And thank you so much for coming today. So I know you took the time out of your busy schedule to be here, and I do appreciate you coming. So the first thing that I wanted to talk to you, let you know, a message from my chief. Our chief of police is Mike West. He's been the chief now, not quite a year, but he's been here. He's been in our department for over 20 years. He's worked his way through the ranks and became chief, and he's doing a wonderful job. Just a brief message. He just wanted to thank you for your continued support to our community and to the police department. So just a brief message, and so you'll see his face. I know he's fairly new. You can see how he looks. Okay. So here's a little message about us. So Goldsboro Police Department is actually a community-oriented police department. You hear people say community policing or community-oriented policing. Either way, it's a strategy of policing that focuses on police building ties and working closely with members of the community. So we want to be able to go into these communities and know each other, interact with the children, interact with people, the ladies sitting on the porch, the women working in the garden, the lemonade stands. We want to be able to interact with the community. So our goal is, like I just said, the goal of community policing is to bring the police and the public it serves closer together to identify and address crime issues. So instead of merely responding to emergency calls and arresting criminals, police officers in such programs get involved in finding out what causes crime and disorder and attempt to creatively solve problems in their assigned communities. So at our department, we have officers that are assigned to different areas to patrol for a certain period of time. So we want those officers to be creative with their patrolling, learn the neighborhood, learn who walks around, who comes and who goes in the neighborhood. So that's our goal as a community-oriented police. And to just get out, we have officers that get out and they interact with people on the children playing basketball. You know, we've seen officers that help with cookout events that are given in the neighborhood. So we want to be invited to those things and show up and just be friendly and not always be tight, stiff police officers all the time. Okay, so if you take a look at this picture here, this the police department here. I think they were from New York somewhere. They were very creative, and they had a sign and it said free hugs. So they just walked, you know, we're from the South, so we can understand hugs. So they walked through the neighborhood and they just gave out free hugs. How great was that? You know, we're in a time that we want people to still love police officers. We still want to be loved. So that was a great thing they did. Okay, so I found this little cartoon here, and it takes us back. There was a time that criminals thought that they could be in and out of a business, in and out of a house without the police getting there. So if you see it says, "Don't worry, man, it takes the cops at least 7 minutes to get out here." So they got it down to a science. Well, that was before community policing. That was before we had people in our neighborhoods that would call us, or people in our neighborhoods that would call a neighbor to see what's going on, before we had really good, solid neighborhood watch groups. So I thought that was quite interesting when I saw that. So we're trying to improve, but we need to do that. We can't do it without the community helping us, because that's what community-oriented policing is about, and that's what we want to be here in Goldsboro. Okay, so we're here. Wouldn't be here if it was no crime, right? So that's what brings us all here together, is crime. So crime is a costly and demoralizing problem affecting all of us. The victims of crime suffer injury, financial loss, and intimidation. Everyone is affected by higher prices for products, taxes, insurance premiums, and the sense of insecurity and fear that results from criminal acts. Those who live or work in high crime areas can be deprived of some of life's normal opportunities and pleasures by the social and economic impact of crime, and by the alienation and despair that accompanies the fear of crime. So ultimately, crime affects everyone, right? It affects everyone. It's just something that when it occurs, people don't think about what's going on or what impact they're making on someone else's life when they participate in criminal activity. So we're going to talk about some things. We're here today in reference to residential safety. That's the program that Heath had asked me to talk about. So residential safety, one thing about any type of safety, the most important thing is everyone plays a role. You play a role in preventing crime. So any type of crime, you play a role in that. So one of the big things is awareness. Awareness of your surroundings, awareness of a situation, awareness of, your neighborhood, just awareness of just being safe. Sometimes we can get into our busy days and be doing things so quickly that we're forgetting about our awareness or safety. So thinking about safety is the first step in crime prevention. Make it a priority. Always pay attention to factors that can prevent crime, whether it's in your home. It could be like today, we'll talk about some home safety. If it's in your vehicle, about keeping things locked and secured in your trunk in your vehicle, whether it's out in public. It could be walking through the mall. We've seen some things in other cities that took place in the mall. And, being aware of your surroundings. When sending mail and using the phone or even the internet, we're getting a lot of emails and scams through the internet, so you always should think safety when it comes to that. Okay? So in order to talk about safety, we need to talk about target hardening, because that's what we're going to go into today. Target hardening. Target hardening is a term used by police officers, those working in security and military, referring to the strengthening of the security of a building or installation in order to protect it in the event of attack or reduce the risk of theft. So that's what all of these tips that I'll give you today are, things that you can target hardening your residents to prevent crime. It is believed that a strong, visible defense will deter or delay an attack. Okay? So physically securing your resident is 90% of burglary prevention. If your home is locked, and unauthorized entry is difficult and time-consuming, and the chances of a successful burglary are greatly reduced. So we're going to give you some ways to target hardening your residents. Now, one thing I want you to know, all of these things are suggestions, because it takes a while. I'm not saying you need to go out and do every one of these things, because that can be very costly. But these are just some suggestions that I'm going to put out there. And over time, if you own your house, or if you want to talk with your landlord about some of these suggestions, that's a good way to get some things changed. So just remember, they're all suggestions. And just so you'll know, before I get into the tips, I can go out and do a residential survey for you. It's free of charge. It's something that we do at the police department. And I'll come out and just look over your house and give you some recommendations, some best practices and things that I have learned over time that I can just recommend to you, okay? So let's get started with these tips. So we're going to start with lighting. Use light and landscaping to increase safety. So make it hard for criminals to hide on your property. Light all entrances at night. Install motion sensor lights. I like the motion sensor lights because, you know, they're going to come on and come off. So it'll let you know if you just happen to be getting up at night, walking to the bathroom, and you see that light on, that might say, well, why is the light on? It may alarm you to look out to see what's going on. It could a neighbor could even look out to say, hey, their light on, that light's never on, what's going on? So I like the motion sensors, and it's highly recommended. So you want to light all entrances at night. Sometimes they're good to put on the corner or right there at the garage as you're coming up to the residence. Okay, you want to trim shrubs and trees to reduce shadows and possible hiding places. You want to prevent hiding places from criminals to hide if you were coming to your residence or leaving your residence. You want to decrease those hiding places. Also, you want to trim your trees so that criminals can't climb them to access high windows. You know, believe it or not, people will climb a tree to get to the second story. So you want to make sure that a tree looks like a tree and not like a big, huge, gigantic tree, and a bush looks like a bush. I like to use like a windowsill, for example, is that if that bush was designed to be a bush, that it's no higher than the windowsill. And if that is the case, that's going to give law enforcement, as we patrol down the street, we'll be able to look at your residence and we'll be able to see your windows clear. Your neighbors can look over and they'll be able to see your windows and your doors clear. So that gives the opportunity for law enforcement and neighbors to be able to have a clear view to your residence. Okay? So you want to use fencing material people can see through or over. You want your neighbors to be able to tell if something is wrong on your property. You know, I know privacy fences, sometimes we use them for the backyards, and they're fine if that's what you desire, but this was just a tip of saying, you know, if your neighbors are across the street and they're home all day, make it where they can see, okay? So I put up some pictures so you can kind of understand what I was saying about the bushes. See these houses here, you can see where that shrubbery is all grown up and it looks like nobody lives there. It looks like, hey, maybe I can go hide and get in one of those windows. So you want to keep shrubbery trimmed away from entrances and walkways. While large hedges are beautiful, may be beautiful, they also provide a hiding place for burglars who not only need a minute to break in through a window or a door. So that's just an example of what I was referring to, if you want to keep those bushes trimmed back. Okay. So here we're still talking about your locks and your windows. So you want to install a deadbolt lock on all entrance doors. So it's recommended that you use a deadbolt lock with a 1-inch throw and a reinforced strike plate with 3-inch screws. I know that sounds like a whole lot, but that is the best recommendation, the deadbolt lock with the 1-inch throw. And then you can also use the reinforcement strike plate, okay? So deadbolt locks are some of the better type locks for your doors. There are several different designs, so you may want to find out what's best for you, but that is what's highly recommended, okay? So you want to always close your garage doors when you leave. Some people, they leave the garage door open and, you know, you have all your valuables, all your stuff right there in the garage. So you want to keep that garage closed at all times. Even when you're home, you want to be sure that it's closed. I always lock the doors to an attached garage. Sometimes we get out there in the yard and we're so quick about our garages or the door that we want to leave it open for our convenience, and that's not always a good thing. You don't want to rely on your automatic garage door opener for security. You want to make sure it's locked. So you want to install new locks when you move in, and if you live in an apartment or you're renting, you know, ask the landlord to do it. You want to be sure that if you're moving into a new place or you're buying a home and someone's lived there before, you want to make sure those locks are changed for your safety and your security. Okay, anybody have any questions so far? I know we're going through a lot really quick. Okay, so residential safety. We got your locks and doors and windows here. So be sure that all windows have a locking device. Check the hardware stores for locks that will work for your type of windows. Also, ask about installing steel pins, and there's a picture of a steel pin. They stop some type of windows from fully opening. So those steel pins will help a window from fully opening. And it's a safety method because, you know, you put the steel pin in and the window's not going to go all the way up. And then, you know, it'll be easy to take it out if you wanted to raise the window. There are so many different devices that at the hardware store, you can just really spend a whole day on locks, different types of locks for your windows and your doors. So whenever you're in the market to replace those things, you know, these are some that would be highly recommended. Okay. So here, you know, we have our sliding glass doors. You know, we always have to be careful with those sliding glass doors and be sure that they're secure. Some people don't realize that they make a bar that will secure that sliding glass door. I know years ago we would just put a broomstick in there, but there are some devices that are made especially for sliding glass doors at the hardware store. You can find those. So you want to secure with a security bar specifically designed for your sliding door, or at very least secure with a broomstick or a dye well in the inside track, because you don't want them to be able to lift the door up and get in. So if you put that security bar, it's really cool and simple, and it looks very much like that picture on the right side. One thing I would suggest with those bars, you want to make sure that your family members, if you have small children, you want to make sure that they're familiar with those bars, because familiar with opening and removing it if there was a fire. So that's one thing that I suggest if you did have that bar, because if you're not familiar with it, you'll get up there and just try to slide like you normally would do. So be sure that all your family members are trained with opening and closing that. Okay. All right. So you want to make your home look busy when you're gone. If you're not at home, you want to make it look like you're there. So burglaries are least likely to target a home if they think people are inside. They're not least likely. I'm not saying it won't happen, but they're least likely to go inside a home if they feel like somebody's there. So you want to create the illusion of, you know, that somebody's home. So you can create the illusion that you're home by using timers on the lights, radios, TVs. Make your residence appear occupied, even when no one is home. This will deter criminals. Okay, that's a good thing, especially with this holiday season. Sometimes we go out and we're gone for an extended period of time. You know, it may be a week, it may be, you know, you might get there and want to stay longer if you're retired, and you can do that. So, so you want to be sure that you put those lights on the timer, and that is where you can stay a little longer. Okay, you want to ask the trusted neighbor or friend to get the mail. You don't want that mail, your newspaper, or even if sometimes we have packages that may be delivered that we forget about. So see if you have a trusted neighbor that can get those items for you, and or even mow the lawn when you're leaving for a longer period. You don't want it to look like, hey, they can tell that you're gone. Nobody's there. So that's a way to keep your home looking like someone's there. Creating that illusion. Okay, so even here's a tip where you leave some window drape blinds or shades open so that the house won't look closed up. So do this upstairs where the windows that even when no one, do this on upstairs windows where no one can see it. So you want to still kind of open the window so it'll look like somebody's not there. And by all means, if you have somebody that can come in and check your house and that's responsible to have a key, and they may want to go over and put the timers on different lights, that's a good idea too, especially if you're gone for a period of time. I know we have a lot of military in our community that may be gone for an extended period, and they may need someone to do that. And here's something that the police department can do. We can arrange a keep check with the police department. So a keep check is performed while you're away. It's a free thing. what we do is we'll get your information of the time that you're leaving. When you'll return, you'll give us what cars may be in the yard, what lights are going to be left on, and even who may have a key in case of an emergency. So there's a short form that has to be filled out. You'll fill that out and we'll do a keep check for you. It's a free thing. The keep check is given to all our officers while you're gone, and that's part of our responsibilities while patrolling, and we'll do that keep check.
Is that only in the state of, or in the city of Goldsboro, or?
Yes. Yes. I have no idea about Mount Olive, but I know it is only in the city limits. I'm sorry, but maybe we can find out. I can find out to see if the sheriff department does something similar to that. But right now, I can only speak for Goldsboro. Okay. Good question, though, Ms. Phyllis. Right. So here's another little section here that I found that I wanted to share with you. It's open the door only for people you know or are expecting. And you're thinking, hey, why are you saying that? Well, there was a time that we had a lot of people that were going door to door selling things. And these people, or people that were knocking on doors asking for things. I don't know if y'all get that out in the county. It could kind of, I hate to use the word begging, but that's pretty much what it is. So you want to open the door only for people you know are expecting. So you want to look through a window or install a peephole so that you can see who's there. We should never open the door if you don't know who's there. We've been taught that a long time ago, right? So it's even true today. So you want to use a window to look out, or use a peephole to see who's there, okay? So you want to ask strangers for identification. You want to verify a repair worker's identity by calling their company. People come to your door and they say, I may be with a such and such company. You haven't called. Ask them for identification, even if it's a police officer, because there are times we have officers that are dressed down in plain clothes. We're always required to have our ID, and we'll have our badges with us. So, it's okay to ask us, let me see your ID, so we're prepared for that, okay? So if a stranger asks to use your phone due to an emergency, say that you will place the call and don't let him or her in. We have had times in the city that people are going door to door, knocking on the doors, and they may be asking for money or saying, I have an emergency. Well, tell them you're going to call the police. Well, I'll call the police for you. But what I would like for you to do, if you tell them you're going to call the police, call the police. It's okay. Get us over there. Let us check the person out. And if it's an emergency, we can help them. And, and don't ever open your door unless you see the police out and you want to talk with us. But if you ever tell anybody at the door and they say they have an emergency, you're going to call the police, please call. And I say that with passion because a lot of people say, well, I just said it to scare them. Get us over there. Let us see what's going on. And if they really need help, we'll help them. Or if it's something else, we'll figure that out. Okay? All right. Okay. So this part here that I wanted to share is document valuables. To prevent break-ins and if there was a break-in to your house, you want to document your valuables. Police officers, we use documentation for everything. Most everything has a serial make and model number. Well, that serial make and model number is valuable to us because that's what we use to find property. So you want to always record your serial make and model numbers of your electronic devices or any items of value. Create a file that you will be able to save information. Photos are highly recommended. A lot of times when there are break-ins, people are going for electronic items. That's something that's dear to our hearts. We love electronics. I think we talked about that, Mr. Scott, before we started. And, our computers, our iPhones, our laptops, iPads. So those things are so valuable to us. Well, each one has a serial make and model number. And if they're stolen from your residence, law enforcement uses those numbers on our police reports to locate your items. And when I say locate, it could be that we had a traffic stop and we stopped the car and they had TV in that car and you had made a report about your TV being stolen. Well, we can match that up and know that, hey, they have your TV. It doesn't belong to you. This is a stolen item in your car. It could be where we go to the pawn shops. We work closely with our pawn shops here in town, and they match up their numbers with our reports. So if we find any items in the pawn shop, you know, that's a fine for us. That's a good thing. We've just gotten your merchandise back, just got your items back. So ultimately, we don't want anyone to break into someone's home, but if it does happen, we do want to be able to help you find your items. Because a home break-in is something that's very tragic. And it's just something that it takes time to get over. And I know that from experience. I had a break-in one morning. I was on my way to work, and you know, I had gotten to work, and the funny thing is, when I got to work, I didn't have my license with me. So they lined us up in the hallway. You know, police officers, we're enforcing laws, and we should have our driver's license. Well, I didn't have mine because I had gone shopping the night before, and it was in my pocketbook. So I didn't put it in my uniform pocket like I normally carry. And so when I got the lineup, I didn't have my license. So my captain, he sent me back home. Well, the good thing about it was he didn't send me home by myself. He had another officer drive me home because I didn't have my license and I shouldn't have been driving. Okay, I understand that. So when I got to the door and I opened the door, I can tell I had only been gone about 45 minutes. Somebody had already been through my apartment. And the good thing that my captain sent an officer to drive me home, because now I had backup with me. So once I turned around, and that officer, his name was Jerry Taylor at the time, when I turned around and I said, Jerry, somebody broke in. And, you know, I had this look on my face. So he got out the car and we searched the house, and we were you know, naturally the officers are going to come, and I'm glad they did. So the K-9 came, and, you know, everybody sprung into action, even though I was the victim, but they sprung into action, and those were my shift members, and that's what we do for each other. And we were able to search, and we didn't find anybody at that point, but it seemed like every day after that, when I came home and opened that door, I can see the stuff on the floor or imagine the person being in my apartment. But like I said, it's something nobody wants to go through, and it takes time to get over, but over time you will heal from it. So I don't wish that on anybody, because it's just a violation of your private space, okay? Just a little brief story. So I recommend that you record your serial make and model numbers on all your devices. And when I say create a file, now we just went through some things with Hurricane Matthew and the flood and the water. So it's a good idea to create that file maybe on a electronic device. You know, even if that device is not there, you might want to save it in your email or create a folder, so that way you can always go back to it if you needed to. And it wouldn't just be a paper trail that could have gotten wet and destroyed for something that we just all experienced, okay? So here's another program that we have is the Goldsboro Police Department has an operation identification program, which goes back hand in hand with your items in your residence. So what we have is just like your tools in a garage, like a hammer or a screwdriver, we would like for you to record some type of identification number on it. Your driver's license number is recommended because that number's been with you all your life. The first time you got your driver's license number, I've never had a different number. I've always had the same number, so it belongs to you. And it's better to use your driver's license number opposed to your Social Security. I know years ago they used to say Social Security, but we don't want to put that on anything at this point. So, so that operation identification program is you can come to the police department and borrow an engraver. With that engraver, you can keep it for how many ever days you want. You just sign it out and say you're going to bring it back, go home, engrave your tools with whatever number or whatever mark you want to put on it. Tools, lawn equipment, I know those are things that get gone really quick in the summer if you're not real careful and secure them in a good place. So you want to be sure that you do that. And that program is available at the police department if you need it. And even if you live in the county, you can borrow, okay? So you can get that if you live in the county. We'll let you get it as long as you bring it back, okay? Here's another program that we have that I'm just so excited about is Neighborhood Watch. So starting the Neighborhood Watch program is another way of residential safety, believe it or not, because if you have a Neighborhood Watch program in your neighborhood, then it's going to help deter crime as well. So Neighborhood Watch is a crime prevention program that enlists the active participation of citizens to reduce crime in their communities. So Neighborhood Watch has been around since 1972. It's almost as old as I am. And so it's not a fly-by-night program. It's still one that's active. People are still using it. We have several watch groups in our city that are very active, and they have meetings often. They have annual cookouts. They come to the station and they want to know the stats of the crime in their neighborhood. And so they're very active and passionate about the safety in their neighborhoods. So I just commend those groups. I'm not going to call any names, but because I hate to miss any. But and I have a lot of block captains that are very passionate. Those captains, they work their neighborhoods, they interact with their neighbors, and they also call me to interact with me to see what they can do. So it's kind of like a training. We want them to do the Neighborhood Watch. They're able to create it however they want. And we're going to work together with them as law enforcement and let them know what they can do to train them, and they're going to work back with us and help us as well with letting us know what they see. It could be something as minor as a car parked in their neighborhood that's been there 2 days. We want to train them to know, hey, if you see something like that, you can always call the police. Let us come over there, check out the car, and see. Could be stolen. It could just be broke down. It could be a neighbor's car that you wasn't aware about. So we want to just encourage them to call the police and interact with us. So Neighborhood Watch counts on citizens to organize themselves and work with law enforcement to keep a trained eye and ear on their community while demonstrating their presence at all times of day and night. So we just want them to keep their eyes and ears open at all times. All right. So start a Neighborhood Watch. They do have this in the county, so I can say that. So what is it? Police officers cannot be in every corner and every street in the city, so citizens involved is essential to combat crimes. Neighbors are the ones who really know what's going on in their communities. By cooperating with each other and the police, people can help fight in their communities in the most effective way before anything happens. That's what we want to get. We want people to be the eyes and ears of the community before it happens. And if they see something, we want you to say something. If you see something, don't be afraid to call the police. Get us over there and let us check it out. Okay? So the goal of Neighborhood Watch is designed to give potential criminals the feeling that everyone in the community is watching their every move and will report them to law enforcement. So that's our goal. And if you take a look at this blue eye up here, that's what that sign represents. And not only here in Goldsboro, all over the nation, that blue eye represents Neighborhood Watch. And it says, if you see this sign in our neighborhoods, we are organized, we are fighting against crime, and we're going to call the police on you. And that's the passion that we want our neighbors to have when they form their Neighborhood Watch groups. So, we're wanting people to form them, or even if you have formed one in the past, let's get it back started. Let's see what we can do to get it started back up. It could be where maybe some people have moved out of the neighborhoods. It could be where somebody could have passed away that was the block captain. So we want people to step into those places and get some Neighborhood Watch formed. So hopefully you'll see this today and want to form a Neighborhood Watch. What I like to do in the city is, once we form a Neighborhood Watch, I'll sit down and tell you how you can purchase the sign, what websites are recommended to purchase. And what I'll also do is go through the neighborhood and see how many signs you should have. Because it's not like everybody should have a sign on every corner, but just, if it's a residential subdivision, I can ride through and give you some recommendations on signs. But there's a website pretty much that we can use. It doesn't take long for the signs to come in. Once the signs come in, we'll get them put up and go from there. Okay, so here's the deal. You have the right to defend yourself in your home. But if there was a break-in and you had an opportunity to call us and get us on the phone, do get us on the phone. Now, circumstances may pan out in your home and you may have to defend yourself. So I'm not saying that you cannot defend yourself, but just know that you're going to have to explain your actions. So be ready to articulate what took place and how it took place. And at that point, it's a process. You have to go through that process of saying, explain yourself, and then between law enforcement and the district attorney, they'll decide from that point. Okay? I would just suggest that you have yourself in order. You know, if you have a handgun, make sure all of your paperwork was up to date. Just make sure all your stuff is in order if you're going to defend your home in that way. Okay? I think it's up to you, but here's what I like. I would like to be able to walk through my house in the pitch dark and be able to maneuver through if I had to. Because if the lights went out, you would have to do that to go get your flashlight, right? So be able to maneuver through. Because even if somebody was breaking in while you were there, you need to be able to know where to go. They're not going to be able, that's the advantage you'll have, because they're not going to be able to do that. But you know, even if you had just a little bit of light or no light, I would like to be able to maneuver through. I get up sometimes and I may not turn on any lights and walk to an area and look out the window if I heard a noise, because the lights indicate somebody's up, right? So it's kind of up to you. You just kind of have to have a feel for it and decide what works for you. Well, I am so thankful that you all came today. I want to just kind of tell you about some other programs, just like presentations like this. I want to thank Heath from the library for giving us an opportunity to come and speak to you. So we just do so much in crime prevention that we want to just share with the community. We're always at events. We want to be invited to events. So invite us to events. If you can click my next slide. So here's some programs that we do, that we offer. Identikid, that's a real popular one where we go in to different programs and we fingerprint the children. We had just recently got a new program, a new ID kit actually that we're using, and it's been great. So we've enjoyed doing that. So then we have senior safety, community helper program, presentation. My friend McGruff, he goes everywhere. And we recently got 2 robots that we're introducing. The first one's already out, Officer Seymour. So if you see them out, you know, take some pictures with them and like us on our Facebook page and post those pictures so we can see you and Officer Seymour. But that's it. So those are some programs. If you need us at any church events or any school-related events, just give us a call. If you can put my contact information up. So what we do is we do it at special gatherings. More often people are calling us and wanting us to be a part of their gathering, and then they'll ask us, can we do that, and we'll do it at their event. So it's nothing that we do during the schools. It's something that we do at someone else's event. And what happens is we'll take the photograph, and actually now we're doing all 10 fingers of the children, putting it on a CD with just the brief information, their name, birth date, height, weight, and give it to the parents. We don't save any of that information. We'll give it to them on a CD so they can have it for their use. Now with that CD, you can email it if they were going out of state somewhere and something happens. If you needed to take it with you to your local police department, if they were missing or abducted, you'll have that information. So it's a really great tool. Right. So at this point, we never know when we're doing it. Whenever someone invites us, we'll just put it out on our Facebook page so the community will know that we'll be there doing child ID. So it's nothing that we do all the time at one particular location. Absolutely, and I didn't put anything in there about alarms because there's not an alarm system company that I can recommend, but it's always a good thing if you're financially able to get an alarm system. And there are some good things that you can do now, be it Sam's that have these alarms that you can buy and sync to your phone. There are some different things that I seen that are out there. It's just a matter of researching, finding what's affordable and what you can activate, because you know you got to be kind of tech savvy with some of these items. So they're out there. You just have to kind of do the research to see what works for you. All right, and thanks again for coming, and I can talk with you later. Thank you.
We are back on this 19th day of the month of December 2016 on Wayne Goldsboro Television. And thank you for being there. I hope things are going well for you. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and I hope you're having a wonderful holiday season thus far. Yeah. I will ask you to remind yourself to remember those who are in service to our community during the holiday season. You know, some people don't have holidays off, like our law enforcement. That would be police, fire. The fire departments do not have days off. The highway patrol, the sheriff's office, they're all out working. EMS is out there working. Emergency management folks out there working. Remember those folks when you're enjoying your holiday. And remember that these folks are out there helping to protect our communities and saving lives. Just think about them. And thank them when you see them for the service that they give to our communities. And while you're at it, remember our personnel here at Seymour Johnson Air Force Base and all branches of service as they're protecting our nation, as they enjoy their holiday season working to protect our nation. According to Go Wayne Go, they held a survey that came back that said that about 90% of the people at Wayne Community College, the employees there, would spend more time focusing on their health if programs were offered through work. What do you think about that? Says,
I agree.
I agree. Okay. If you worked at Wayne Community College, that means that you would be one of those. 9 out of 10 would say that they would be more focused on their health if the college had a program, and I think they do, that helped with their promoting fitness in the workplace, saying that it would indeed reduce. It's been shown to reduce absenteeism. I'll get it out in a minute. It's been shown to reduce absenteeism, healthcare costs, to lower healthcare costs and improve employee morale as well. Now, Go Wayne Go is now looking for organizations that would like to implement worksite wellness programs. And if you have an organization in mind that think that you might consider doing this, call this number, 919-222-0071. 222-0071, okay? Well, according to my What's Special About Today list,
Wayne is not special.
there's nothing special about today other than the fact that they had to find something to put between December 18th and December 20th. So there we go. And this is the only time this week there'll be a Monday. You know that?
Really?
Yeah. Got it. Okay. But here's today's trivia question. Here is today's trivia question. The question is, of course, the category is Christmas tradition. It's traditional to decorate a Christmas tree this time of year. Same is true for the White House, decorating the Christmas tree at the White House. So, who was the first president to decorate the Christmas tree in the White House? The first president to decorate the Christmas tree at the White House was, what's his name?
Hint.
Uh,
Maybe a year.
We will say it was in the 1800s. Goes back.
Way back.
Well, kind of. Way back. Okay? That's our trivia question. I'll have the answer for you in the next segment of the program. That'll be coming up next on Wayne Goldsboro Television. Our guest is Corporal Jason Adams of the Goldsboro Police Department. He's here with a report from Crime Stoppers. Jason, how you doing?
Good. How are you doing today?
Good to see you, sir. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
We want to talk about two things. Before we get to the crime, let's talk about a change in contact numbers.
Yes.
You've made it easier.
Yep. Now what we're doing is Crime Stoppers is a one number to call and text instead of two different numbers. So someone that wants to call and text, they don't have to try to remember two numbers now.
Okay.
So it's
good.
just one simple number. It's one of our longest running numbers that we have. It's the original number, which is 919-735-2255, and you can call and text that number now.
Same number.
That same number.
Okay. So there's that 222 number's out now.
Yeah,
we don't
correct.
use that anymore. So if you'll remember that, 735-2255 for Crime Stoppers.
Yes.
All right. Now, let's talk about the crime. What's going on?
Well, talk about another robbery, unfortunately. This one happened back on 12/9/2016, so just a little past a week ago.
Yeah, that's just a few days ago, yeah.
And it was over at Dollar General on West Grantham, down there in the Lower River Shopping Center.
Oh, yeah.
So this one happened at closing time. The employee was closing up, and while getting ready to lock the doors and everything, a black male with a handgun forced her back into the store and demanded money. And everything. So she gave him money. He ended up fleeing in an unknown direction. We were able to get some surveillance video, and he's a black male, about 5'6", approximately about 175, 180
Not a tall
pounds.
person.
Not very tall.
Okay. We have some pictures, too, I believe.
We do.
Okay.
And he's wearing a black jacket and either brown or tan pants. If you look at the photographs, you kind of might not be able to see his face, but you might recognize someone that has those clothing or wears something similar to that and everything.
And that build and that stature and
Correct.
that stance.
Yeah, and in that time of night, you may have seen that person wearing the same kind of clothes. So sometimes with the video, people didn't really, they hear about what they're wearing, but they don't really associate it. But taking a look at the photos, they might be able to, hey, I did see something like that.
Yeah.
So
That was December 9th was a Friday night, wasn't it?
it was.
So it was a Friday night
Yeah, it
about
was.
closing time.
Yeah, it was around 10 o'clock in the evening, just right when they were getting ready to close up and lock up.
Jason, it seems to me, I keep hearing a lot about the break-ins that we've had here lately. It seems like it's either very early in the morning at opening or very late at night at closing.
Correct.
Those are the two critical times, I
Right.
guess.
A lot of employees are there by themselves and everything, and a lot of shoppers haven't come in yet. So usually it's probably one person because it's not their busy time. So just one employee. So when an employee's getting to work, one of the things that they can do is be looking around in the parking lot. Make sure that there's no one that's kind of walking up on them or kind of just hanging out in the parking lot, especially someone that they're not familiar with. And then at closing time, before they go out to close that door and lock it up, just look outside and such. And, especially if there's two employees, have one watching and while the other one's locking up, or if there's anything that they've got to bring in from outside.
Right. Okay. And number one, if you can help with any information at all about this crime that occurred on Friday, December 9th at around 10 o'clock at the Dollar General store on West Grantham Street, that would be the Little River Shopping Center,
Correct.
then you can call this number, 919-735-2255, regardless how much information, how little information you may have.
Yes, sir.
All right, and number two, the advice that Corporal Adams gave is very good advice. If you're an employee of one of these retail stores, as you're opening up, look around you, use extra caution as you exit your vehicle and go to the store, or if you're closing up at night, it would certainly be advisable to look around before you leave the building.
Yes, sir.
Take extra caution, especially if you're working by yourself. And I would hope a lot of retailers would realize that they need to have two people on the facility, on the premises.
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. 735-2255. We appreciate Corporal Jason Adams coming by with a Crime Stoppers report, and thank you, sir.
All right, thank you.
I
Merry
appreciate
Christmas.
it. Yes, Merry Christmas. Back on Wayne Goldsboro Television, and a quick reminder that every Monday through Friday you'll find this program on at 7 a.m. The show repeats at noon, then it re-repeats at 5:30 p.m. Hope you're able to join us, and if you happen to miss something, you can't find it those days, it runs 4 times over the weekend, and then if you still miss something that you'd like to get information about, you can catch it online on the internet on our YouTube channel, and I won't try to show you where the red button is because we had a discussion about that the other day. Anyway, there's a red button somewhere on our WayneGov.com webpage. Go to WayneGov.com, find the red button in the upper corner on one side or the other of your computer screen. Click on that button and it'll take you right to our YouTube channel. Right?
Yes,
That's
I was
close.
right.
No, I was right. I mean, if you're looking at the screen, it's right there, okay? And if you're looking at her screen, it's over there. Anyway. And a beekeeping class is going to be held every Saturday between January 7th and February 4th. Cost is $50. You can register by either calling the Wayne County Cooperative Extension Service and getting information about how to do that. There's 3 different ways you can register for that. Classes are from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. every Saturday from January 7th to February 4th. That's January 7th, 14th, 21st, 28th, and then February 4th. And it's all to be held at the Wayne County Cooperative Extension Office on Chestnut Street in downtown Goldsboro. And $50 to attend all, and $75 for the whole family. And that includes a textbook, and that includes classroom training materials, notebook, and all that, and refreshments. So call the Cooperative Extension Service Office, 919-731-1520, or go online to beekeepersofthenews.com, beekeepersofthenews.com. What am I leaving out? Do we have anything else?
Wayne County Board of Commissioners meet tomorrow morning with the agenda at 8 and the regular meeting starting at 9.
Now that's exactly right.
Yes.
That's exactly right. Coming up on on Christmas, you know, that's Sunday.
Yes.
And every year, New Year's Day falls exactly a week after Christmas, and it's exactly the same day. So New Year's Day will be on Sunday this year. And just so not to go too far ahead, but we'll have most of the county offices will be closed, if not all of them, be closed on the 2nd, which is a Monday, in observance of New Year's Day, which means that the next meeting after the Board of Commissioners will be on the 3rd of January. But the City of Goldsboro will also have their City Council meeting on the 3rd as well. Okay, they're going to skip that Monday, just to let you know about that. Of course, now, City Council meeting is tonight. City of Goldsboro Council meeting is tonight. And you can watch it live right here as it happens on Wayne Goldsboro Television. Then tomorrow, the Board of Commissioners meeting starts at 8 o'clock on the 4th floor of the Wayne County Courthouse. Before we sign off, let's get to that trivia question for today. The trivia question category for today was Christmas tradition. And that's what we've had a lot of here lately. The question is, as you know, everybody decorates their Christmas tree, and the White House is no different. The White House every year has a Christmas tree. Who was the very first president to decorate the White House Christmas tree? Well, the answer to that, anyway, it was Franklin Pierce, as everybody says now, but he pronounced it Pierce, he did. But anyway, that's the answer. President Franklin Pierce was the first president to decorate the Christmas tree at the White House. There you go. And I guess that's a wrap. Is that a wrap?
That's it.
Yeah, but I don't break dance. Anyway, that's we're going to go now, and hope you have a great day. We'll be back in here tomorrow. Look, it is a Monday, you know, and I'm going to stumble a little bit from time to time, and I did. So anyway, it's a Monday. We'll do better tomorrow if they let us in the building. So have a great day. Enjoy your day, and if you happen to be driving about, please wear your seatbelt. Drive carefully, please. And until tomorrow, I'm Wayne Alley.
And I'm Pat Garner.
And this is Wayne Goldsboro Television.